Welcome to my list of 6 Overland glamping non-essentials that you didn't know you needed until now. Overlanding and glamping are kind of synonymous. I drive a GX470, so of course we're going to be doing things a little bit fancier than most folk. And today we drove the rig all the way out to the Eastern Sierra. By the way, it's Sierra, not Sierras. We are camping just outside Mammoth, California at a little camp area called Hot Creek. And there's an amazing hot springs that I'll show you some B-roll after this video. But enough about where we drove the rig. Let's get into the list, right? First, glamping non-essential that you didn't know you needed until now, the Trasharoo. First and foremost, Trasharoos are amazing and they're so underrated. For us, our pro tip for our Trasharoo, that not only does it hold some things like the spigot for our diesel heater, which is on our list, our hatchet, some extra chargers, but we put a trash can in it. Here we go. And that way, when you want to throw trash away, it keeps a shape for you. It keeps a nice shape. It seems full, but also we can add trash bags to this and liners, and we can throw those away and not have trash in our Trasharoo. Another cool thing about the Trasharoo is if you're picking up firewood or hauling firewood and you don't put the liner in, you can put logs in here and drive it to your site. It's just a really great thing to have. It's not too expensive. This is a very custom Nitto tire one. Shout out to the Ridge Grapplers. One of the things that we just got, and honestly we can't live without, it's a non-essential thing because you could store your trash any way you want. Some people even just tie a bag to the tire, but now that we have one, life is just so much easier, and also they just look cool. Another thing, number 2 on the list, is a homemade shower / pressure washer from a jerry can. That's right, we built this pressurized system to spray water on whatever we need. We want to wash our hands, we want to take a shower, we want to wash some dishes, we want to fill up water bottles. We have an extra jerry can that we travel with, but this is our pressurized one. And let me show you how it works. I wired it all up. You can hear the pumps on now. And look at that. Pressurized water on the trail. Are you kidding me? This is glamping, Overland glamping at its finest. And we like to hold the handle there so it stays up and then click. Cool thing about this battery pack, the way we built it, is it's 100% rechargeable. It's also another USB source to charge whatever we need. So no lugging around batteries. We have power on hand, ready to go. Number 3 on the list is something I'm most excited about. We got our hands on some camping tech. This is some high-end camping tech. A lot of guys who overland have a fridge or charge their phones or whatever, and they use just like a portable battery. There are some brands out there that are really popular, and there's a new up-and-coming brand called EcoFlow, which we can't sing high enough praises on. We just got the EcoFlow River system, and I'm going to show you the EcoFlow River Pro, and let me show you everything that it does, because this thing is badass. First of all, here's the unit. This is the main unit, right? And you can see it's just your run-of-the-mill. You may look like your run-of-the-mill battery pack, but it's not. So it's got a light here. It's got a wonderful screen. Tells you how many hours based on your usage you have left. Tells you battery level. Tells you input. I'm pulling in 80 watts right now. It's 6:13 in the evening, and I'm pulling in 80 watts. I'll get to that in a second. It has all the ports you could ever think of. USB-C 100 watt for stupid MacBook Pros. You know how many people with their MacBook Pros want to charge them on the trail and they don't have a plug that's strong enough? Well, this is built in. It has 2 USB-A's. It has a fast charge USB. It has your cigarette lighter adapter here. You can turn that on and off. Another great thing about it is it has 1, 2, 3 plugs. And if I'm not mistaken, one of them goes to 220 volt. Like what? This one is 720 watt hours, which is really great. But the good thing about the River system is it's an expandable system. So we have this, it's ready to go. They also talk about how it's a non-toxic, good for the environment product. This is the expandable battery. And I have never seen a battery system that allows us to run the battery down and say, hey, don't worry about it. Plug in the expandable battery and we'll give you an extra, it says it on the bottom here, an extra 720 watts. So after you deplete that, you can run this, but also you can run them in parallel. Right now it says I have 67% charge because it's balancing the two out. Let's get to how we're charging this now. First of all, amazing, right? Second of all, we got solar. 120 watt solar system on here, and these solar panels are second to none. It's amazing. These aren't some flimsy ones, like it literally feels like carbon fiber over the solar panel, so they're strong. They come with carabiners. We have them clipped to our Shiftpod. This is fantastic, and I'm blocking it because you can see my shadow, but when I get out of the way, my big head, you can see at 6 o'clock, it's 6:15 in the evening, the sun is setting, we're still pulling in 80 watts of power. I can't tell you how amazing that is. I've had so many solar panels in my life. I've had 60 watts, 100 watts, 120 watts, all from Amazon, all brands I've never heard of, and none of them ever came close to pulling in 80 watts at this time of night. I've been lucky to get close to 80 watts on a 100 watt panel at noon, and it's 6 in the evening and I'm still pulling in 80 watts. This is amazing. Another cool thing about this EcoFlow system is it comes with an app, so you can monitor your power wherever you are. The reason why we need so much power is not only are we running a fridge in our rig, but this gets to the next item on the list, and that's the Shiftpod. The Shiftpod itself doesn't need power, right? It's just this beautiful shelter. We have some videos on the shelter, all on the Shiftpod on the channel. We love our Shiftpod. It's very over the top. It's very Gucci. Most people would think, hey, Shiftpod shelter or GX470 Overlanders, we're gonna get a rooftop tent. That's how you glamp. That's how you get over the top. Wrong. Rooftop tents are things of the past. They work well in certain situations, but this thing is unbelievable. I'll show you guys inside. We have 3 dogs sleeping in here right now. It's very dark. There's my dog Kodak. There's Leia. There's Onyx, and there's Emily's bed. And the Shiftpod has plenty of space for me to stand in. Hi. It's got tons of openings. It's temperature regulated in here. And we are camping in a very cold climate. It's gonna get down to 19 tonight. So this Shiftpod is number 4. Number 5 on the list. If you have any questions on the Shiftpod or you want to learn more about the Shiftpod, we got other videos in the channel. Drop us a comment. Shiftpod's got great customer service. They're a great team. Hit them up. We have the Shiftpod 2, and look how tall it is. But now, number 5 on the list. Shiftpod as itself does not require any power. As you can tell, it's insulated. It's beautiful. It's soft. It's got a floor. It's got a pole in here for some sturdiness. We had 40-mile-an-hour winds last night. It didn't move an inch. It didn't flap in the wind. But it can still get cold in here. And the most overlandy, glampy, accessorizing thing that you didn't know that you needed is a diesel heater. We have the diesel heater plugged in to plumb into the tent right now. And you can put it outside your tent. The Shiftpod comes with ports for the diesel heater. The Shiftpod has lines for the diesel heater to come out. We have the diesel heater exhaust wrapped in tubing coming out of the Shiftpod. And I'm gonna turn on the diesel heater and show you how it works. So here's the diesel heater. We got this wonderful pipe aiming up. Don't worry, it's not gonna burn the doggy. She's fine, she's clear of it. We can also adjust the position of this pipe. But here's how the diesel heater works. You got time, you can set the time. I'm not going to set the time. You got alarms. We're going to turn it on right now so you can see what happens. So it clicked on, and what's going to happen is it's going to cycle. The way a diesel heater works is there's a glow plug. It literally has a tank of diesel in here, and it's got a combustion chamber, and it's going to cycle air through the combustion chamber and blow clean hot air out into the tent to heat this giant Shiftpod. We have an exhaust coming out of the tent, and it's gonna go blow in the air, and then we finally have a nice clear air intake. And while the diesel heater does provide a ton of heat, it does require a power source. Here's where the EcoFlow comes in. I have it daisy chained to the extended battery pack. I'm pulling in 75 watts from my solar charging. Right now it's pulling out about 100 watts because it's warming up the glow plug. Eventually you'll hear the diesel heater click on, and then it'll cycle click, 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 click all night long. It'll blow clean hot air into the tent, and that drops down from 100 watts to 10 watts. And so you can see with our double EcoFlows here, even while it's pulling 100 watts, I have 35 hours of battery left. 35 hours. Not to mention that the solar is recharging it, so by tomorrow I'm sure I'll recharge up to 100% on these. But if I leave everything as is and I'm pulling 100 watts out, I have 35 hours. Now it's cycling on, listen. It's gonna kick on a fan, and hot air is coming out of there. So it's pulling down a little bit more, so it's about 112 watts. I'm still pulling in 73 at 6:21 in the evening. Now the cool thing about the diesel heater is there's a remote. So let's say we're sleeping and we want to adjust the diesel heater. It's 15 degrees centigrade in here. Yes, this is an Amazon Chinese diesel heater, but I don't care, it works. Here, it's gonna sync with the diesel heater. It's gonna tell us the rate in which we have the pump set. It's gonna speed up right now because it's trying to heat up this tent, and we can adjust the frequency in which the pump fires at. And the higher the frequency, the more the pump clicks, the more hot diesel gets burned, the more diesel gets burned, the more hot air in the tent. But we like to keep the diesel heater down to 1.8 hertz, maybe 1.9 hertz. It's hard to find. There we go. There's a little bit of a lag. Boom. 2.0, 1.9 should be. I guess not. We're going to stay at 2 hertz. And that just kind of keeps it all night. It comes with a gallon tank of diesel, and we have an extra jerry can's worth of diesel on hand. It can run for 11 hours and not even use the gallon. So we keep it a little bit low and just keeps it nice and toasty in here. You can see the babies are all sleeping. And then finally, oh wow, it's bright in here. Finally, the number 6 item you didn't know you needed while glamping, in overlanding, or whatever, until we tell you that you needed it, is USB powered hand warmers. That's right. I have my puff jacket on. The sun is setting. It's gonna get down to 19 tonight. These things are amazing. You can see I'm turning it on now. The red light is on. We can crank it up to full. It's gonna heat up in my hand. It will not burn. It can stay in my pocket. We keep it on low, or maybe 1 or 2 all night. We put them in the dog beds to keep them warm. These things can run for 11 hours. USB hand warmers. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. We've always had those little packets of hand warmers, then you throw them in the trash, or they go out after 4 hours and they take up space. Not only is this thing on for 11 hours, but it can charge your phone or any device you want via USB. So those are my 6 things you didn't know you needed until I've shown you that you needed them. I'm telling you this right now, life is a lot easier with these 6 items. The EcoFlow is phenomenal. That solar panel I've never been more impressed with. We hand built some Gucci shower that really comes in handy. The Trasharoo, this is fantastic. And we have more on this rig that's getting built. You can see it here. So if you want to see more on the rig, or you want to find, or if you got 6 other items that you didn't know you needed until we told you you need them, please let us know. There's more to come. There's more frivolous overland items that just make your life that much better on the trail. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you want to see. And so thanks so much for watching.